They depend heavily on vision. They had no head armor, but they had features like sharks. They were ram things. Most of them were small, but most biologists call those that reached about 12 inches bony sharks, spiny sharks. Now, ray fish have a lateral line system, or network of sensory receptors located along the head and side. Now, that system detects all movements and pressure changes in the surrounding water. So the ray fish were like the CIA. They were detecting what was going on in the water. The word placoderm means plate skin, and placoderm fishes had heavy coats of bony armor, especially around the head and anterior part of the body. Most of them were small, 12 inches or less in length, but one group reached 33 feet in length. Placoderms, sturgeons, paddlefish and sturgeons are placoderms. Sturgeon eggs, or roe, are the delicacy that's known as caviar. Now, fish have separate sexes, but care of the fish, of the eggs or young, by the male is frequent. Fish have nests. Sometimes it's just a shallow depression in the sand, but sometimes it's an enclosed structure, such as that made by male stickleback fishes who construct nests of plant material bound by kidney secretions. A number of male fishes build nests made of bubbles that not only hold the eggs together, but also provide the oxygen necessary for developing embryos. Other male fish, particularly those that live in oxygen-poor waters, display elaborate fanning behavior to keep water moving around the eggs. Now, sharks evolved in the Baltic region. Here, I just love this shark. This is a great white shark. That's a black-tipped reef shark. And here's another picture of the great white shark. But now, sharks evolved over there in the Baltic region. Sharks have the largest brain per body weight of all fishes. The female shark's sexual organs are deeply situated within the physical body, and fertilization is internal. In many sharks, the eggs develop within the mother. In hammerhead sharks and blue sharks, the embryos are fed through the placenta attached to the uterine wall of the mother. Now, lungfish, that's this fish down here, also evolved in the Baltic region of Germany around 395 million years ago, and appeared to be descendant. She was a descendant of the mixture of sharks, placoderms, ray fish, and jawfish. In other words, they had a community, and the lungfish came out. Now, the lungfish had all the best traits of all four of those categories. And you could kind of compare the lungfish to those four hydrogens that made the helium, or the mother goddess. Because modern science says that lungfish, when they first appeared, were fully evolved. They were fully developed. They didn't have to grow up. They first appeared around 395 million years ago. Now, lungfish are slim, elongated, eel-like fishes with small scales and 2 lungs. They are air-breathing, and they will drown if they cannot breathe air. That's where we got our lungs from. Lungfish and their descendants have thin bases that are set on little stalks, like they were forming legs. They foreshadow limb development. The bones in the stalks are comparable to those found in all 4-limbed creatures, including man. Current-day lungfish of South America reach about 40 inches in length. That's a big fish. Those of South Africa may grow to about 6.5 feet, which means they would be taller than I am if they could stand up. But the South American and African lungfishes build nests for spawning, and in both instances, the nests are guarded by the males. In dry periods, the South American species buries itself in the mud and becomes dormant until water returns. Now, the African lungfish forms a leathery cyst or casing, and cocoon and stays there until water returns. Now the Australian lungfish is just a reflection, an imitation, a copy. It has a single lung. It has large scales. It gets big, but it's more primitive than the other lungfish, and it lays its eggs among aquatic plants, and it doesn't build a nest, and it doesn't hibernate if it gets dry. Now the poles shifted around 380 million years ago. The South Pole was centered in Angola, Africa, and the North Pole was in the Pacific region. There were 400 days in the year. It was cold to cool in the Southern Hemisphere and Southern South America. The equator ran through California, Labrador, Canada, Scotland, and the Black Sea. North America, Europe, Greenland, and North Africa were near the equator and had tropical climates. A line of mountains began lifting in northeastern North America and ran through eastern Germany and from the Mediterranean region through Turkey, Iran, the Himalaya region, and Southeast Asia. As the mountains lifted, ocean troughs formed and ran along the coast of North and South America. The troughs became large, flat, swampy areas of land as sediments settled, and around 380 million years ago, the northern and southern hemispheres became one massive continent. Brachiopods became abundant in the western part of North America, almost all of Canada, Europe, Asia, and Australia around 400 million years ago, when lampreys, hagfish, and armored jawless fish were patrolling the waters. In other words, those little brachiopods that the trilobites had fertilized their eggs, once the fish were patrolling the waters, they became numerous. Okay, then the poles shifted again around 380 million years ago, and brachiopods disappeared as they were bred to form new ammonite categories. Now, ammonites, again, that's this family with the octopus and the squids, the cuttlefish, that's that family.